which this thing is going to break out. All right, let's get right after this. So the S&P 500 this week is showing a little bit of a bullish action right now on the daily charts. So I'm looking at this big buy candle on the daily here. This looks like it's kind of retesting this downtrend though. So I just want everybody to be sure that this looks like it might be retesting this little uptrend, and then we could see a nice little sell-off. But this closed at the high, so this shows me that's pretty bullish, especially what happened on Friday. Quite a bit of volume in there as well. But on the weekly chart, this is why you see many of these lines, because right here at this level, if I get rid of that uptrend line, this doesn't look the most bullish. So it looks like it rejected off the weekly. It could start to come down now that it's starting to retest that high on the daily chart. So could get it pretty interesting this week. I would say that there is a resistance point at 397, maybe this 399 at 400 level, but I don't see how we would start to break out. I mean, if we get above 402, we could start to run really high above 410. But if it's not bullish and we start to dive, I feel like this 390 mark could be broken, and then we'll end up testing that 386 mark that I've been talking about for a couple days. So I'm still watching the downside a little bit. I think there's still some upside. I think 397, maybe that 399 test. If we get bullish momentum above that 400 though, I could see us in the long run reaching that 408, 410 level. So the bulls are here, but I am just a little bit worried about this uptrend. I feel like we could reject this pretty nicely. Maybe head up to that 398, 397, 399, because then, I don't know, it looks like the 398 level could retest this and then have a nice red candle. So it's going to be a pretty choppy week at the beginning. There's not a lot of news out, but starting on Tuesday, Wednesday, and all the way to the end of Friday, there's a lot of major news events that are coming out that could impact the market. So could be pretty crazy to see. NVIDIA started finally breaking down a little bit. This is going to be one on watch as well. This has had so much strength that anytime it gets knocked down, there is some bullish activity. So watch for this 275 break, but if we are bearish in the market, it could go well below this 260. So a lot of room down on NVIDIA. Obviously, it's just been on an absolute tear with the AI situation going on. Everybody's loving NVIDIA. It got absolutely destroyed, and now it's coming back up towards that 275 mark. So I would definitely watch that. And there's also a nice little wedge pattern happening on Tesla. So I'll clear all this drawing real quick. There's a couple earnings plays that I'm seeing this week. I'm not really liking too many, maybe Lulu. But Tesla real quick, I feel like this is starting to form a nice little flag here. Could potentially be setting us up for a big run now that we bounced off of this 188. Tried to go a little bit lower, filled that gap a little bit, but if you look at it, if we get above this 193 level, we could soar above 200, maybe even see that 208, 205. So I will be watching Tesla this week as well. Meta, kind of sit in the same situation as NVIDIA, just been buying like crazy, and it's been slowly chopping up there. So could finally, if it rejects this 207/210, it could start to break down and have a real nice red day. So I'm just waiting for that market collapse, because NVIDIA and Meta will come down a lot faster than the rest. So Square had a really bad week last week. Looking for some more downside here. I would probably start to enter into maybe some leaps or some long-term shares around that $55 level. So that short report, I don't think that this is crazy enough for us to continue to die, because they actually sold 50% of their position after they launched that short report, just took advantage of their own report, which I feel like is manipulative, but to each their own. So the one thing I'm really watching this week is the SPY level. I don't think that there's going to be too much action on Monday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday could spice this up a little bit. Like I said, above this 397, could see 399, and if there's momentum above 400, this thing could really rip up to about 408, 410. So I'm not counting out the bulls, because I still am a pretty bearish mindset right now. I feel like we could probably retest this 399 and then reject pretty hard. So I'm really paying attention to this 390 support level, because if we get to that point, we are going to collapse down to this 386, 384, maybe even that 380 mark. So I'm really looking forward to the downside, but bulls are here, so I'm just paying attention to those upside levels. And then Tesla is actually one of my favorite plays on this flag if we are bullish. So could be a really good trade for Tesla, the $200 calls, or the 195s if the market's bullish, along with the SPY breaking 400. So that's really all I got for this week. I know Square and Coin got hit really hard last week, so watch for some extra movements, maybe some buyers coming into both of these stocks. And then we got Tesla in the video with some pretty decent setups as well. I do want to take a look at Lulu for you really quickly. They are breaking out like crazy over here. Got a nice little uptrend. Could be a good opportunity to maybe take some more upside as this Bollinger Band is start to expand. We could probably see 320-ish, maybe somewhere around that 325 range. Looks pretty bullish heading into earnings on Tuesday, but I would not swing into earnings. The contracts are going to be very expensive on Lulu. We could take a look at them real quick. The Lulu earnings is going to spike these up. Looks like about a 94% implied volatility move, but these contracts are pretty nicely priced. You know, they're $1,200 a piece, 325s or 800. You could make about $400, but this doesn't look like it would be anything that's in my play. But just look for some upside for Lulu. I think that's pretty decent. But I love Tesla, and I love the SPY with a little bit more bullish momentum. But if there's any bad news whatsoever, the SPY could see a massive drop. So levels are all over the place this week, but there is some pretty great setups, especially on Tesla. This looks really great. If the market's bullish, this thing is going to break out. So that's my high watch. Hopefully that helps you out. And if you need anything, you know where to find me.